G'day everyone, Tim from vMix here, and today in this video we're going to take a look at how to create a talkback channel for vMix Call. For this tutorial we're going to be setting up a push button talkback using a MIDI controller. You could also use an X keys or a Stream Deck if you wanted to. Now we want to be able to use a producer's microphone to talk to our vMix Call guests without being heard on the master audio. So what we're going to do is add a producer microphone to a separate audio bus and then use some vMix shortcuts to temporarily switch our callers to the same bus so that we can chat to each other. Now, if you want to follow along, there's going to be a knowledge-based guide linked in the description. But if you check out this video, it should give you a general idea of what you need to do. Now, we're going to use bus G as an example today because it's probably going to be the least likely one that's in use. But you can choose any bus that you want to use. Now, in order to enable an audio bus, you just need to go into Settings, and then go to audio outputs here. Then what you can do is enable any of these audio buses by selecting enabled from the drop-down menu. Now you will need to restart vMix in order for that to take effect. So just click OK down the bottom. So we have all of our buses enabled and we're going to use bus G today. Now as you can see in my production, I have a producer microphone right here, and I also have a vMix call coming in to this production. Now the vMix call has been set up on my end using all of the default settings, which includes sending the master audio to the caller. That's so they can hear everything that's happening in the show. Now I have it running on my laptop with a video of myself on repeat, reciting the lyrics to the 1923 classic, "Yes, We Have No Bananas." Now you can see that I've got my vMix call coming into the production. So you can see that I'm bringing into my master audio channel here. And if I turn on the audio, you'll be able to see that I've got the audio bars moving here. So I'm just going to turn that off and mute it for now. So firstly, I'm going to need to make sure that my producer microphone is just using bus G and not using the master, because I don't want it to be picked up in the stream. So what I'll do is make sure that I've got the M unselected here. And then when I want to activate a bus, I can just click the little letters underneath it. To see the other ones, you just need to right click it and then you can select G here. But if you're using A or B, you could select it here like so. But I'm just going to make sure that that's using bus G for my producer microphone. So as you can see, I'm talking like this and nothing's coming up in the master audio levels here. So it's only using bus G for my producer microphone. So now what we need to do is set up the shortcuts that will switch our caller audio when we press down on our MIDI button. So firstly, we just need to go into the settings and then shortcuts. So I'm just going to go up here, then I'm going to go into the settings section, shortcuts, and then I'm going to click add. Okay, so I've got my MIDI controller here. Now what I'm going to do is switch it over here. I'm just going to use this button in the top left-hand corner as my push to talkback button. So what I'm going to do is click find and I'm going to push that down. Now I want to hold that down because I want to be able to activate things as I'm holding it down. So you'll see we've got MIDI note on. Now, if you're using a Stream Deck, this might be button down, I believe. So what you'll need to do is make sure that it is note on. My finger's still on it and then click OK. I can put that back down again. Okay, now we need to select a function for that button. So what we're going to do is go to the function section and select video call audio source. Now it can be found in the input section, or you can just go down the bottom, video call audio source right here. And now for the input, we need to select the call that we have. So this is the other Tim call. And then for the value, we'll need to select the bus or whatever, bus G or whatever bus you're using. So I'm going to type in bus G here. And then you can give it a title, that sort of thing. I like to keep these shortcuts local. So I'm going to select local shortcut here and then click OK. So now when we push the button down, it's going to switch it to bus G. But what we want to do is also be able to toggle that back to the master when we release the button. So what we're going to do now is add another shortcut, go to find, and I'm going to push down the button on my MIDI controller, the same one that I had before, but I'm just going to release it. So as you can see on the screen, it says MIDI note off. So that's on release of the button. Click OK. The function, we need to go to the same function again, which is video call audio source. We need to select our call input. And then for the value, we want to type in master. Then I'm going to switch this back again. Click OK. So what we've done now is created a toggle button that will change the audio source that the guest hears from the master to bus G while the button is held down. So now that they can hear us, how do we hear them when they're muted? So what we could do is select the S button or the solo, and that will allow us to hear the microphone even when it's muted. So that will be able to be heard in the producer's headphones. However, we can also automate this as well by going into the shortcuts. So we're going to add another 2 shortcuts to that very same button. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Add, Find, and what you want to do is select that button again, the one that we selected before in the top corner, like so. Hold it down so it says Note On or Button Down if you've got a Stream Deck. Click OK. So now we need to set a function to it. So we need to set the function as solo on. So if we go down to here, we should be able to select solo on, not solo off. I should have worn my glasses for this. And for the input, we need to select the call again. And then I like to keep these local, as I said, we give it a title, that sort of thing. We'll click OK. And now what we need to do is go to Add again, Find, and select our button. But we want to push and release it this time. So just Note Off. I think it's button up on the Stream Deck. Click OK. So now we need to set the function, which is going to be opposite of solo on. It's going to be solo off. So we need to find that function down here. Again, I really should have worn my glasses for this. Solo off. Select our call again. And then we're going to click OK down the bottom. Okay, so once you've set up all of your shortcuts, click OK. All right, so now I'm going to see if it all works. Hopefully it has. So I've got my MIDI controller here. Now, when I push down the button, it should solo the call and it should switch the audio source to the call from master to G. So let's just right click this and go to audio source, and let's go ahead and press the button max. So as you can see, solo is now turned on and it switched to bus G. When I release it, it goes back to master and turns to solo off. So I can press it down, say you're on in 5 seconds, you're looking great today, etc., etc. Turn it off, and then they're good to go. So they're currently hearing the master audio. Everything's coming through from the production. When I hit this button here, they just hear my microphone. They can talk back to me. It's not going on the master audio through the stream. And when I release it, then everything goes back to normal. Now I'm just going to quickly show you what this all sounds like from the caller's perspective. Now I've got vMix set up here. It will work exactly the same from the browser. They don't need to do anything at all. So this is just an example of what will happen. So basically at the moment, they're hearing no audio because I don't have any master audio set up. So I'm just going to turn on this audio file. So they should now be able to hear the audio. And now when I press the button, then it will go off and then they will hear my microphone. So that's what's going to happen. So as you can see on the screen here, and you'll see it from the other production now. So I've just activated the button. So all you can hear now is my microphone. When I release it, you'll be able to hear the music again. Okay, so now I'm on the producer's side of things. So what I'm hearing now is what the producer would hear through their headphones. So I press down the talkback button, meaning that I can only hear the call coming through. So I can have a conversation back and forth. So if you listen, I need help right away. Hopefully you can hear me talking from the call. So when I release it, it'll go back to the master audio, and that's what I'd be hearing through my headphones. And when I press the button again, it creates the talkback channel again. Like so. We have an O. One last thing before I forget is you don't want to add your G audio to your master audio. You want this to be completely separate from all of your other audio. You do not want it to be coming through to the master. So make sure this M is unselected for bus G. So that's how you can set up a single button to be a talkback button to your guest on a MIDI controller, X keys, or Stream Deck. You just push down the button to talk and to hear them talk, and then you just release the button for it to stop. Now, as I mentioned, there's a knowledge base guide in the description to follow if you want to set this up. Now, this guide is for people that are using vMix for all of their audio routing. If you have an external mixer that you're mixing your calls and that sort of thing through, then you should already understand how to set this all up using your mixer's talkback channels and mix minus setup. If you have any questions about vMix, feel free to send us an email via the support page on vmix.com. Any technical questions here on YouTube will probably get a shrug emoji, and please email us. So thanks for watching, and we'll stream you later. We have an old-fashioned tomato, a Long Island potato, and yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today.